Good evening, everyone. Speaking on behalf of Paras Defense and Space Technologies Limited, I'm Lalit Jaising from Concept PR and your moderator for this virtual brokers and analyst event. I would take this opportunity to thank you for taking out your time from your busy schedules to join us. We appreciate your presence and extend a very warm welcome to all of you. The objective of today's live session is to understand Paras Defense and Space Technologies' interest in raising finance, why an initial public offering, and what they do as a business organization. Under a normal circumstance, this would have been an on-ground event, but we all are increasingly getting accustomed to this as a safer and more convenient format of attending and conducting the roadshow. We hope you gather the same or a better experience from the comfort of your home and office. Before I review the functionality of the webinar, I would like to bring to light that Paras Defense and Space Technologies caters to four major segments of Indian defense: optics, electronics, EMP protection solution, and heavy engineering. While most other companies in this space cater to one or two segments. It is the sole Indian supplier of critical imaging components and has a goal to lead in the optics segment globally. It is in the process of developing several new products and solutions such as hyperspectral space camera, naval periscopes, optical solar reflectors, and more. Moving ahead, you'll be kept on mute throughout the event, and all questions will be answered via the Q&A chat box only, where you can type your question in session or at the end of the webinar. Would request all participants to please limit yourself to 3 questions if possible, and use a lowercase font while typing it. If we miss answering any of your questions, don't worry. You can email us at ipoteam@conceptpr.com, and we will try to be swift in responding back to you. Going forward, it is a great pleasure to introduce the speakers today. From the company, we have Mr. Munjal Shah, Managing Director, Mr. Harsh Bansali, the Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Amit Mahajan, Director, Technical and R&D, and Ms. Urvashi Dal, Manager, Corporate Strategy and Finance. The representation from the book running lead manager is Ms. Asta Daga, Senior Vice President, Investment Banking, Anand Rathi Advisors Limited. On behalf of the company and lead managers to the issue, let me thank all participants for being a part of this session. I now invite Ms. Asta Daga from Anand Rathi to deliver the opening remark and commence this brokers and analysts meet. Asta, over to you.
Thank you, Lalit. Welcome all of you to this event of Paras Defense, distinguished guests on the panel, and my dear friends. A very good evening to all of you. It is indeed Anand Rathi's privilege and pleasure in bringing Paras Defense and Space Technologies Limited's IPO to the public markets. Paras Defense is one of the indigenously designed, developed, and manufactured company in the category of private sector in India, primarily engaged in designing, developing, manufacturing, and testing of a wide range of defense and space engineering products and solutions. It has an executable order book of around 3049 million as on June 30th, 2021. The company's consolidated total revenue for FY21 stood at 1446 million, and its profit after tax for FY21 stood at 157 million. The issue comprises of fresh issuance of equity shares aggregating up to 140 odd crores and an offer for sale of 17,24,490 equity shares by the promoter selling shareholders and the other individual selling shareholders. The price band is already fixed for this IPO. It is rupees 165 to 175 per equity share. The total issue size at the lower end of the price band is around 169.9 crores, and at the upper end, it shall be around 170.8 crores. The IPO is scheduled to open on Tuesday, 21st September, and will close on Thursday, September 23rd. My special thanks on behalf of Anand Rathi to all the professional parties for their continuous support throughout the entire process. We seek your support to make this IPO a success. Over to you, Lalit.
Thank you, Ms. Daga, for the introduction to Paras Defense and Space Technologies initial public offering and issues key highlights. India accounts for 3.7% of the global military spending, making it the third highest military spender in the world. The defense expenditure constituted 2.9% of India's total GDP, with approximately $72.9 billion spent on defense in 2020. I would now request the company team to take us through the organization's journey, its struggles, victories, subsequently take the attendees through the company's investor presentation to cover its business and financial details as well as touch upon its key strategies going forward. Over to you, Mr. Shah.
Thank you very much, Lalitji, and thank you very much, everyone, for giving us this opportunity to present before you. I am Munjal Shah. I would like to present Paras Defense. We will start with a small introduction about Paras Defense. Company was formed late 70s, early 80s for mechanical manufacturing. From the beginning, we have been doing challenging jobs. We have always been trying to do import substitution. We would always do whatever nobody would do in the country. And we started working with Ordnance. We started working with Government of India undertakings, defense PSUs, R&D labs in the defense, R&D lab in the space organization. In 1997, I joined this company, and we start to work on similar mechanical manufacturing, but we increase our range of products. We start building from smaller components to very large size components. And by 2010, we become like the largest. We become the most. We would like to say we would be telling our customer that we would do anything under the sky in mechanical manufacturing. By then, our customers would tell us that the future is into optics manufacturing because there was actually nobody full-fledged manufacturing. So they asked us if we could explore the possibility. After doing proper survey of the business, we decided to venture here. So we start to work, and by 2013-14, we set up India's most unique ultra precision nanotechnology machining center, the country's most unique nanotechnology machining center. Then we deploy this infrastructure for manufacturing of optics. We start with thermal imaging camera optics, that is night vision devices optics. And then we go to space optics. Then we also make optics for various other applications in the area of defense. Then we also start doing optical design, then also optomechanical design, making a complete lens assembly. So today we offer the complete range of optics and optomechanical assemblies. Going forward, then there was a requirement of doing very unique, complete camera systems. So we were given this opportunity by our customers. So we took these opportunities as there was not much interest by the other people. So we entered into complete camera manufacturing. So currently, as we speak, we are doing a camera which is along with the defense lab for a complete hyperspectral imaging camera, which is going to be deployed into the space and which is going to be looking down from 500 kilometers. This is the most prestigious project or the most prestigious camera system ever in the history of the defense research laboratory. So this is what Paras is working with them, and very soon the first one will be deployed into the orbit as per their information. So this is beginning of 2022, they are going to be deploying the first one into the orbit. Besides that, we got into defense electronics as we were always doing mechanical manufacturing for electronic systems. So always it was our wish to also do more value add. So we explored the possibility of doing electronics also, and step by step today we are able to offer a complete electronic control system for Army and for Navy programs. Here we do complete designing, manufacturing, wiring, electronics, software, and provide a complete solution to whosoever in the defense sector, mainly on the land system programs and also on the naval programs. So today anything and everything also in electronics. The third vertical of the company, and then during this process, we were also given an opportunity to electromagnetic, to explore possibility of doing electromagnetic pulse protection solution. EMP is the future warfare. This is what people are now working on, how to protect ourselves from this potential threat. So we were given an opportunity around 6-7 years back, where we started with a very small product that goes into making a complete solution. And today, Paras Defense is the only Indian company to have got the complete qualification for doing EMP protection on turnkey basis in the private sector. EMP is like an attack, which is it's a EMP blast which you do in the orbit, and below it all the electrical and electronic that gets covered under it, it gets destroyed in a fraction of a second. So we protecting against such a threat all the strategic electrical electronics of our country, which are really very, very important. So this way, today we become the widest range of products offering company in the area of defense and space. Today we are like a one-stop shop for our customer. Whosoever wants anything can get here. They don't have to go to multiple locations. Also, when the customer has any interest of maybe optics, he will also say, okay, I would also like to do something on the mechanical, or I would also like to do something with you on the electronics, and becomes like very easy for them. And also with this capability, we are able to package any kind of product required under the sky. Say today, Paras Defense with this capability can make any kind of equipment, most challenging equipment, which is electrical, electromechanical, and also optical. So this is what capability we have developed in these years, and now we are going to go forward integration. So we have had a very standard growth. Like we have been doing, like we have added more and more products to our offering, and today we are able to offer the widest range of products and solutions. So I will just start a presentation where we will give you a little bit insight of our company. So Lalitji, full screen. So Paras Defense and Space, we will, so we have our IPO coming up. The anchor date is 20th of September. The bid opens on 21st and closes on the 23rd. The price band is 165 to 175. And so this is on the IPO side. Executive summary of the company. We are a very, very unique company in the country today in the area of defense and space. Today, we are not only just a manufacturing company, but we are also a design company, and our focus is on import substitution and also make in India. So by virtue of all the capabilities that we have been able to create very, very unique capability and capacity. We have 2 manufacturing facilities. One is at Navi Mumbai, Nerul, which is nanotechnology machining center. And the second one is at Ambernath MIDC. Both the facilities are owned by the company. It is in MIDC, and as per MIDC, you have 95 years of lease. Nerul infrastructure is around 1 acre and built up of around 40,000 square feet. Ambernath is around 5.5 acres and built up of almost 75,000 square feet. And we have still a lot of space if ever we want to add any more or whenever we want to expand for quite some time. We have all the certifications in place. Today, we are catering to almost each and every defense company in the country, or most of the companies are our customer on the government side, like almost all the DPSUs and almost all the other government organizations, like on the R&D side or on the Government of India undertaking, you name any, and they are our customers. Also on the private side, we are working with several companies who are working in the area of defense, and all the customers have been whomsoever we have been working with them for long time. They are like all of them are repeat. Never ever we have had any customer who would have just come for one time. Besides that, we are also exporting. We are exporting to Israel. We are exporting to South Korea. We are also exporting now to the US, and also the export market is good. We have been very steady on our revenues, and also reasonably very good margins on the EBITDA side. Even though there was COVID last year, but still the company was able to manage and to be able to service all its commitments on time to the fullest extent, and also at the end be able to make a reasonable number and also have profit at the end of the year. So even after being shut after having minimum operation during the month of April, May, June, July, and starting its full-fledged operation only from August, still we were able to manage to do reasonably well and also be able to service all the commitments of the company. And as we know, defense and space sectors are growing, and with this, we also look at growing very reasonably well. So again, we have very unique capability in the area of optics and EMP, which is and also it is our strength. We are really very strong and very popular in this area. Today, you ask any company in the country, whosoever is manufacturing camera systems for defense, and you ask them who is your best bet for the supplies of optics, and all of them will only have the name of Paras Defense for their optical requirements. We are very strong in import substitution and Make in India, focused mainly on defense and space sector. We have also now another vertical, which is Make in India vertical. This is coming out of the requirements of our country, where they ask now the Indian company to be the prime contractor along with the foreign partner who will be the second contractor, and with also having Make in India content. This is all about financials of the company, which we have just spoken a bit, and also available on the in the document. Again, these are the four verticals that we are working in. Heavy engineering, wide range of products in the area of defense and space optics, covering almost all the optical requirements of the country. Now it happened step by step. It was not very easy journey. It took us quite some time for each particular product to be established for any application. It was a minimum journey of 1 year to maybe a bit more. So finally, after working so many years, today we are able to offer all the optical requirements in the country indigenously, and also probably to a very large extent only Paras Defense working with all the range of products. Also on the defense electronics, as we mentioned, that we are right from a small display or a monitor to a complete control system or very high-end computing system is what Paras Defense is offering. And the new offering, that is electromagnetic pulse, here a complete solution, not just a part of it, but everything. So we are able to, if there are any requirements, we are able to turn around complete for all these activities. We are able to turn around in the fastest possible time. Again, pictures of our 2 manufacturing facilities and the equipments that we have. We would invite you to. We would like to invite you to see our manufacturing facility. This picture doesn't give you much of information, but if anybody is having any interest in ultra precision manufacturing or to see a unique nanotechnology machining center, you must visit our Navi Mumbai facility. Our Navi Mumbai facility has been visited by many people from the financial world and also from the corporate world. So you may, if there is anybody from the engineering background, it is like a dream come true to see our facility at Navi Mumbai. The products that we are doing in the optical area for different application, for thermal imaging, for hyperspectral imaging, large size optics. This is also very unique strength of Paras. Today, Paras is manufacturing optics for space. We started our journey long time back, and today, from the smallest optical requirement of our space organization to the largest one. Today we are manufacturing, or today we have orders from the space organization to produce mirrors or to produce an optical element as big as 1.2 meter in diameter. But hardly very few companies in the world have the capability. So Paras is manufacturing 2 mirrors of this size, and only just a mirror which you can carry in your own hands, in your two hands, each one for more than 20 crore rupees. And this is and also there are several missions for this particular optical with this kind of optics. then also optical domes for missile application, metal mirrors for telescope application, complete assembly for defense and for space ready to use in their camera systems, and special optics for communication purposes. So offering or have covered now almost all the areas in the optical requirement of our country, and also now exporting. So this is all about the electronics offering that we just spoke about. On the mechanical front, we are working on, we are able to produce anything under the sky in mechanical area. Like you say, flow forming, which is a very unique technology where you make tubes for new generation rocket missile programs, to titanium structures for naval ships and submarines, to small or large size special purpose machine. Today, with the capability that we have in this vertical, that is design, mechanical design, electromechanical design, and manufacturing and software, Paras has been able to establish or has been able to make very unique products for our defense. One of the very prestigious programs that we are working on is a naval periscope, a submarine periscope, a complete periscope for a submarine. And this will be the first time an Indian company is working on it, and probably an Indian company which will be able to make this happen, and also save a lot of money for our country, and also bring a lot of pride to our nation. So this is on the electromagnetic offering. So here, as we said, that we do everything in-house to very, very great extent. We only have to buy some small electrical components from outside. Otherwise, everything else is done by Paras Defense in-house, and also at very, very reasonable prices as compared to anybody else in the world. Now, under the Make in India requirement by our customers, we have tied up with many foreign companies, wherein now we become the front partner, or we become the prime contractor in the bidding stages, and the foreign partner who has the technology becomes our technology partner. So one of the few examples we would like to mention, which are very unique opportunities. We are working on a program with a company in the US known as Genesis. We are making we are right now in the stage of bidding for a tender for complete cockpits, a complete cockpit for a small aircraft for the Indian Air Force. Here we are going to be doing, or we are going forward to be offering complete cockpit with the entire autopilot and the flight control system. So this particular program is around 115 aircrafts. So the government or our customers now look for people who are able to bring the best partner in India, and also make it happen in India, and with very, very high Indian content. So all the other partnerships also, like deployable antenna for space, this is also with a very, very unique offering to the space organization, where an antenna is put into a satellite and launched into the orbit at 30,000 kilometers from here. It opens up and it looks down and does the communication and the imaging. So all the partners have proven track record, have heritage, and when we go out to explore partnership with them, so we have always been able to win the partnerships over large companies of India. So, like they tie up, or they, like most of the time, we have been able to successfully convince them to work with us for the particular programs over the bigger companies of our country. So we are not just a manufacturing company, but we are also very, very strong in the area of design. So today, Paras Defense has the widest design capability also. We have design in mechanical, design in optical, design optomechanical, design electronics, design of the complete system, software development, and also electromagnetic design. All these capabilities of design exist under one roof in Paras Defense. This unique capability of design is hardly with any private defense company in India. They would have maybe 50%, 60% of the capability in design. The rest, even if they have a program, they would be outsourcing it from someone like us, or maybe somebody elsewhere. So Paras Defense has very, very strong, or is very, very strong in the design domain also. And with this design, with this capability of design, we are able to produce anything under the sky. we, as we mentioned, that we are working with almost all the government companies, or all the people in the defense on the government side, and also on the private side. We have many customers, and also we are also exporting our products to Israel and to South Korea, and also now to the US. This is to show you that this is from Frost. On the optical side, if you see, like for all the products that we are doing, it is mostly Paras Defense, and otherwise it will be the foreign companies. And now with under Make in India, Paras Defense also has a great, again, an additional advantage over all the foreign companies who are working in India in the past. And now in most of the products in optics, it is mainly Paras Defense. In the area of electronics, we have competitors from down south, but the business itself is quite huge, and all of us have reasonably are able to meet, or are able to get enough as much as we handle. So in defense electronics, we have a few companies in the south who are competing, but we still are able to manage the business, or we are able to get enough as per whatever we can handle. In the area of heavy engineering, as we said, that we take up only challenging jobs, what nobody or very less people can do in the country. So here also, whatever we do is done hardly by maybe any, or hardly by a few people. And also because we are very strong in manufacturing, and we have most of the capability and capacity to do everything in-house, we are able to turn around anything and everything in the shortest possible time. Say, where example, if somebody wants a product, maybe some people will be just doing the design and maybe just reviewing the designs. By the time we would have finished our designing part, and we would have also done the prototyping, and also be able to offer it to the customers, and also almost get the approval for bulk manufacturing. Again, on the EMP, it is mainly Paras Defense, or actually only Paras Defense in the private sector. Nobody until now in this area. And also we have been here, we have started working here a long time back, and today by virtue of all the hard work that the company has done, and also the good people that have come on board of the company, we have been able to have the full range of products that go into a complete shielding of a room, or a complete shielding of a site. Our strengths, very, very strong in R&D. Precision optics or optics manufacturing is like our main strength today. With Paras Defense Optics, we are able to get connected with anybody and everybody whomsoever we want in the country, and also in outside our country, because very few people in the world have this kind of capability what we have and what we are offering. Wide range of products, so our risk is distributed with very, very wide range of products, and also a wide range of customers. We are never ever like worried about any maybe a cut in budget, or maybe any program maybe taking more time to realize or maybe finalize, because we have enough products, and also we have many customers. So if there is any customer who is maybe decision making has been deferred, or maybe taking more time, we have always the possibility to go and get the same business, or maybe get ourselves maybe in a very short time get going with some other program. We are a true IDDM company. IDDM means indigenously designed, development and manufacturing company. So we are very, very strong in IDDM. Very strong relations with customers, because we have been working here for many, many years, and we have always delivered to their fullest satisfaction, and also ensured that delivered in time, by virtue of which they have also got appreciation from their own company and from their own organizations. Also very, very strong team. We have very, very experienced team, mix of all, and all the people in our team are people who have been working in this sector mainly from the day one of their career. So we are also now, our strategies are going forward, a bit of forward integration and offering a complete product, mainly in the area of optics and optical system, and also mainly in the area where we have no clash of interest with any of our existing customers. So whatever nobody wants to do in the country, or whatever nobody is interested to do or cannot do, that is what we take up, and also we ensure that it has a great future. Also, we will continue to focus on our R&D, and we will also invest more into R&D, and also, but everything in the same areas that we are doing. And also, we are reaching, or we are now heading for more and more export customers. I think in the coming few months, we will have much more customer overseas than we have today. We have very unique subsidiaries. Of the 4 subsidiaries, 2 are very, very unique. Paras Aerospace is an exclusive drone company. Here we have unique partnerships with foreign companies, and also the same now with this, and with this partnership we bring their offering to India under Make in India with 100% or with maximum manufacturing in India and proven solution. So we have very, very unique tie-ups, and here we are coming into the market with proven products. We are not going to be doing any development, or maybe doing any trials, or maybe trying to maybe make some demonstrations with the customer. It is coming with complete all exercises and all certifications in place, and with a ready solution. So Paras Aerospace has signed up with a few Israeli companies and some other companies, and is offering the most unique drone-based solution, or several drone-based solutions. And also there are many other partnerships in the making, which where we are working towards, and in the coming times we should be able to tell about. Also, we have another subsidiary, Paras Anti-Drone. Wherever there are drones, there is a requirement of anti-drone, and we have a separate company for Paras for anti-drone solution. And here we are working on 2 different models of anti-drone solution, where whatever Paras Defense is doing comes into play here, where in an anti-drone solution there is mechanical manufacturing, there is electronics, there is electromagnetics also, and there is optical also. So all of it together will be able to build the entire system of anti-drone, and we are looking to offer anti-drone solution at the most competitive prices in the range and in the specifications that we are working on. And we are very, very sure that we should be able to offer it at a very, very reasonable price, making a lot of saving to our country. This is our core team. Sharad Shah is our chairman. I am Munjal Shah. My colleague Shilpa, she is director. She is responsible for the electronics business of the company, and also doing large size projects or large size opportunities for our company. And besides that, we have 4 independent directors on the board of Paras. S.K. Sharma Saab is ex-chairman and managing director of Bharat Electronics, and he has been now on the board of Paras Defense since some time. Manmohan Handa Saab also is ex-director Bharat Electronics, and also now independent director on the board of Paras. Hina Gokhale Madam retired as number 2 position in DRDO, and today she is also and she's a IIT Mumbai faculty, and she is also on the board of Paras Defense. Mr. Suresh Katyal retired in the position of general manager, and also very, very good understanding, extreme good understanding of the defense business to very great extent, and also very good relations with all the armed forces. That was his role in the last days at Bharat Electronics, also as independent director on the board of Paras Defense. So these people all are not just technical, but they are commercial, they are financial, they understand anything and everything that go into business. They understand anything and everything that we want to do, anything and everything that we are working on, and really, really they complement us, and also really also always there to guide us and take care of us. Besides besides the independent directors, my other colleagues, Anish Mehta, responsible for the optics business of the company, optics, which is very, very key business of the company. He is heading the optics business along with his team. Ami is responsible for HR and admin. Amit is responsible for futuristic business of Paras Defense. So he was the one who initiated the drone business, and now he is working very, very closely in the anti-drone business. And also he is actively involved into all the other technicals of the company. Harsh is responsible for finance. Rajgopal Saab is a very senior gentleman heading the business development of the defense electronics vertical. He is the head of defense electronics. He has been in this sector from many years, and he has been able to successfully deliver in the past, and now is on Paras, and now is working with Paras Defense. Ajit Sharma is company secretary. Other gentlemen also very senior. They're all stalwarts in their areas. Like the team that Paras Defense has been handpicked. Like we have picked or we have taken on board each and every person whosoever have been successfully delivering in the past, not just technically, but also commercially, or also not just maybe by technical, but also by delivering. So all the people whosoever are on especially the senior people, are all people who have great success rate in the past, and now they are all working with Paras Defense in order to make Paras Defense more bigger and more stronger. Financial overview. This all information is available on in the document. This is the defense budget, how it has been growing in the past, and also how it is going to grow. But Paras Defense, by the virtue of its capability and also by the virtue of its capacities, whatever be the budget, will still be able to hopefully grow reasonably much well. So it depends on the defense spending also, but also by the virtue of whatever work we have done in the past, the business is there which is required to maintain and sustain the equipments that are in service. So our Paras Defense yes benefits in a big way from the growth of the more spending, but also will be able to continuously do better no matter whatever is the scenario. Also, these are the opportunities available in the 4 verticals of our company. You see that there is a great opportunity in the area of optical systems, and also in the area of defense electronics, and also in the EMP, which is a fairly new vertical, and Paras Defense is the first one to make it there. This is just the forecast of how the business is going to be in the sector, in the area of defense electronics, in the area of EMP, in optics, and in heavy engineering. In the space, today we are we are very popular company in the area of space, especially in the area of telescopes or camera systems. Today, from like whenever you see any satellite that is flown by our space organization for either Earth observation or either interplanetary mission or science mission, by default you have to by default Paras Defense is a part of each and every launch. So maybe in a small way in the past, and maybe medium way, but also in a bigger way in the launches in the coming time. So today, each and every ISRO cameras that are going to be launched in the coming times, Paras Defense will have some share in that particular camera or in that particular telescope. And these are the launches of ISRO in the past, and also how it's going to be in the coming times. And also the spending of ISRO is increasing, and also now with quite a bit of encouraging, or also quite a bit of Make in India, and also quite a bit of a boost to the private sector. A lot of other things are in the making, and also with a lot of new startups coming in the space area, Paras Defense has more and more possibility, because everybody will need camera, or everybody will need optics to wherever it's for imaging purposes. So this is also on the ISRO, how many launches they are planned, and also in the coming times. So that's all in the presentation. Now we are open for any questions.
Thank you for taking us through the presentation, sir. We hope the attendees have captured enough and more understanding of Paras Defense's business model, its financials, its execution capabilities across various product offerings, and diversification opportunities at hand. Before the floor is open for the participants to ask their questions, I would like to reiterate to type your name and organization details in the Q&A chat box for the moderator to take note and address your query. Note, in the interest of time, we will be restricting to 10 to 15 questions only. Repetitive questions will be skipped. Sir, there is a clarification which has been asked on why our trade receivables are so high. Sir, you're on mute.
Okay, Urvashi, I will take it. Most of the sale of the company happens in the last quarter. So in the last quarter, we have quite a bit of sales. This is how it has been in the past. And so if you will see that on 31st March, there is quite a bit of receivables, but it's mainly from the last quarter. And in the first quarter of the next year, most of the receivables are back in the company. So mainly it has been because of the business happening to a great extent in the last quarter, same about 50% plus in the last quarter. This is how the defense companies are, most of them. But so that is why you see that trade receivable. But in the coming times, since we are now also focusing more on the space sector and also on the export market, this will be improving in the coming times.
Sir, another clarification, with respect to your inventory days, because, that is also, high at the moment, what does your inventory comprise of?
In our business, yes, the cycle times are long, and that is why we have inventory days in the past. But the last year has been a different year where we had experiences of supply chain challenges, where we were unable to meet our targets because we were also going, or in the past we have had also just-in-time type of supplies. That's how we have planned. But for the last financial year, when we saw that, when there is a disruption or something, when like something like COVID, which is never ever expected happened, so we decided to stock it up. We decided to have more. We decided to cover up all the possible inventory that we would need to execute the orders in this financial year and also in the early next financial year. So that is why you see it. But this is only a very, very special case because we wanted to be sure that we will be having all the materials in place in order to execute all the orders that we have to the maximum extent possible.
Thank you. So moving to the next question, what is your current total order book? What percentage of it would be government, non-government respectively? Also, a breakup of your domestic and international order?
So current order book is around, end June has been in excess of 300 crores. And it is basically a mix of all, like 20% or say maybe around 22% from the export market, around 40% plus from the government organizations and rest from the private companies. So this is how our current order book is spread. But besides the order book, we have a very, very strong funnel. In 2020, there was not much of buying that happened because of the challenges in the country. So there was only like whatever was immediately required was bought for. The rest got a bit of deferred. And so by virtue of whatever we have done in 2019 and 2020, today we have a very, very strong funnel, and we hope that we will be able to realize quite a bit from it.
Okay, sir. Moving to the next question, which asks that why the focus, more on defense, given that, you've got strong capabilities on the precision manufacturing front, which could have built up the commercial business?
We are basically born and brought up here, so that is why we have been here, and we have always stayed focused here. But now, besides defense and space, we have also now started building complete cameras. We are right now building a multispectral camera which has application in defense and also in space, and also maybe a lower version of it for the commercial market. So we are currently making a camera which is for agriculture purpose. You put it on a drone and you do the scanning of your farm, and just put the chip inside your computer, and it will tell you where you need to add more water and where you need to add more pesticide, wherever there is a challenge in the crop. So we are building this camera, which is currently being imported in our country for around 12 to 15 lakhs. And we are building this and going to be offering at a very, very competitive price. And we are looking to serve most of the state governments of our country. And also basically there are people who are having a solution. There are people who are wanting to offer a complete solution who are also exploring the possibility of buying this from us. So this is one of the commercial camera that we are doing, but basically it comes to us basically from our virtue of experience in the defense and space sector. Also 2 more cameras, drone based. One is for day and night surveillance with zoom, and one is only a day camera. So we are also working in parallel for some camera systems which will be deployed for the commercial market also. Also, there are many other applications on the optical front. Could it be in automotive, or could it be in medical, and also in the civilian market? So there are many other applications, and we also have the knowledge of how these products are made and how to make it the best solution at the best price. So maybe going forward, we may think of maybe also offering some products to the commercial market.
Thank you, sir. Moving to the next question, with respect to your exports, what is the percentage of exports to your total revenues? And also, can you share the margin profile that you enjoy for the various segments you operate in?
So exports has been always double digit since many years. Say average last maybe 3 years would be 15% plus. So we are having reasonably good exports, and also we can always scale it up. So export is double digit, and in the coming times we are very hopeful that the export also will be increasing, because now we are offering also a complete product, and also mainly in the area of optics today. Paras Defense is now globally recognized as a very high quality optics manufacturer. So today there are many companies in the foreign market who are looking to explore business, or who are looking to explore buying of optical assemblies from Paras Defense, because of the high quality that Paras Defense produces, and also because of the fast turnaround that Paras is able to offer, and also at very reasonable prices. So on the margin front, say margin actually varies from the project to project, or basically vertical to vertical. The optics, since we are very strong, we are able to enjoy margins of maybe around maybe more than 50% in most of the cases. In the area of electronics, electronics is a competitive business, though it is very high technology business. But still, because we have a few companies in the south who are also very strong in this area, so here the margins will be anywhere between say worst case scenario around maybe 10 to 15% to best case scenario around maybe 25 to 30%. In the area of heavy engineering also, when we are doing something on the component and sub-assembly and assembly level, the margins will be anywhere from maybe 15% to maybe 20-25%. But when we do a complete product, when we offer a complete solution, then the margins are much higher.
So moving to the next question, would you be the beneficiary to the recently announced PLI scheme?
Yes, our partnerships with the foreign companies are making the product in India for the Indian market, and also making these products or making drones for their global requirements. So the partnerships and the agreements are such that we are going to be their manufacturing partner for the entire global market. So by virtue of these partnerships and by the virtue of very unique offering, you may please visit our website parasaerospace.com to see the unique solutions that we are offering in this in the drone area. And because of these other partnerships also that we are exploring, we are very sure to be having a share in this scheme.
Thank you, sir. On your order book, could you just break it up vertical wise and give clarity on the revenue contribution?
On the order book currently, as we said, our order book is in excess of 300 crores, of which 200 plus crores would be from the optics, around 60 odd crores would be from electronics, and around maybe the rest will be from the heavy engineering side. And the funnel in the heavy engineering and the funnel in the optical side is very, very strong right now, and quite a bit of decision making are there in the final stages.
Thank you. We'll move to the next question. How much is your debt on the balance sheet as of now, and post IPO, will you be debt free?
Our current term loan outstanding is 36 crores, and the rest is working capital limits that we have from the bank, 40 crores, against which we have receivables, against which we have raw material, against which we have work in progress, and against which we have finished products. So basically, term loan outstanding is around 35 crores. And post IPO, our wish has always been to be a debt light company or a debt free company, our wish. And we look to make this wish come true very, very soon, or in very, very short times.
Thank you, sir. From a comparable perspective, do you have any comparable in the listed space at the moment? And if not, from an international point of view, who do you peg yourself to?
Because we have different verticals, I will tell you first about the optics. In the optics area, say in India, you will find, or we will find, around 10 plus manufacturers of camera for defense programs. But on the optical component or the optical elements or the optics, a real company which is able to cater and to deliver to their satisfaction, it is actually it's probably only Paras Defense. And also on the space optics for the local market, for the high-end space optics, it is actually it's only either the space organization by themselves to whatever extent capacity they have, or it is Paras Defense, which offers a full range of products that they want. So in the optical elements in India, there is actually no comparison. In the foreign, there are companies which are very big. So there are companies which are owned, optics company, which are owned by a company which is known as maybe Newport, which owns an Israeli company known as Ophir, or there is a company in Singapore and in the Europe known as Q Optic, or there is a company in the US known as 26, or a company known as ISP. These are the most popular. And they are owned by very, very big people, like they are owned by all billion dollar valuation or market capitalization companies. So in optics in India, not really anyone. Also in the area of electromagnetics, it's a new technology, and it's the very in thing now. To give you an example, Bharat Electronics got a contract from the Indian Air Force for doing EMP sites for a single contract for, I think, approximately 10,000 crore rupees. So this program, Bharat Electronics has to do quite a bit. They have to do civil work. They have to do all the other utilities that go into making that particular sites. But the main purpose of that is to do EMP rooms. The main purpose is to do EMP rooms. And they also had to take support of a foreign company to do it, because when they started, or when this was contracted to them, that time there was no one. So now with Paras Defense, they also will be looking at Paras Defense for all their future requirements. And here also actually there is no comparison. In the area of electronics, there are 5, 7, 8 companies all down south. They are doing well, and they all have enough work for themselves. And in the area of heavy engineering, as we spoke, like what we do, we will take up only what hardly anybody can do. So, example, we are right now working on a periscope. You know, periscope is the very, very key element of a submarine. And we are working on turnkey basis. We are working on doing the full product end to end. Also, same way, some remote control border management system, very, very unique product. Again, very high end system. So here, these products can be done by very few people in the country, and that to all the big companies. But also, like you can say yes, competition, but also no, because the customer desires to have full design and manufacturing capability from one company, and not many people have this capability in the country. So Paras Defense in the two verticals, there is no local, it's all international. And in the other two verticals, we have competition. In electronics more, in the heavy engineering less.
Thank you, sir. Moving to the next question. The PAT margin has been range bound between 10 to 11% over the past 3 years. Given the rising input costs, given the rising power costs, given other factors, where do you see this going forward?
The PAT margin last year, yes, but in the earlier years, a little bit more. We say basically last year, even after having no production for 4 months, no sale for no real sale in 4 months or no production, and taking care of all the expenses that company has to service for, we were still able to have these margins. Had we been producing in all the 4 months, probably the margins would have been different. Also, now we are going forward integration. We are not just focusing, or we are not just staying at the component level or on the sub-assembly level, but we are now offering a full solution. So with this offering, we are very hopeful that here it will have the highest level of value add. And also what we are doing are very unique products or very, very unique solutions, which hardly people are able to offer, and we are now and it is against the foreign competition. So here we are very hopeful that the margins will get better and better in the coming times. And also to add, we will have also now on the revenue front, we will also have revenues coming out of our subsidiaries in the years to come, like, and also in a very short time, as we have very, very unique partnerships in the area of drones, wherein we are looking to have revenues coming in a reasonably good way very soon. So here again, the margins, because of doing a complete solution, we are hopeful that we will be able to have much better margins in the coming times.
Moving forward, we would also like to focus on optics and optical products. So inherently, optics and optical products have been the most profitable vertical of our company. And as we move forward, if it is going to be a larger part of our turnover, then automatically the profitability increases, because there are more deliveries from that particular vertical.
Thank you, sir. Just mixing a few questions. One being, your joint ventures that you have, is it just a technology transfer, or, you have a technical exchange of information, know-how? What are the added benefits? Also, could you give us a few names of your technology, partners alternatively for the defense products? Does Government of India provide technology? Also on the R&D point, how much is your R&D spend over the last few years? Is it a percentage of sales? How do you compute that?
So we have had very unique partnerships, and as we mentioned that we have won these partnerships over the big people of our country, and they are all exclusive partnerships. They are not joint venture, but they are exclusive partnerships for that particular product offering, and exclusive partnership mainly for the entire country with most of the with most of the partners. So here the partnerships where say all the partners have proven past track record, they have proven credentials. So here we don't have to do any further R&D. It is like immediately offer ready solution to our customers, and also with very high Make in India content. So all these partnerships are now going to result hopefully soon in terms of the outcome of whatever work we have done. So, and all these partnerships have been created in the last few years only, or in the last couple of years only. So here in the partnerships, we are exclusive partner with all these foreign companies.
Thank you, sir. Moving ahead from import duties to bans a lot towards Atmanirbhar Bharat and indigenization. How is it benefiting you?
So straight away now, because of Make in India content, and also because of also making it in India and Atmanirbhar in optics, before the foreign companies were having this the monopoly in Indian market, and Paras Defense comes in and also gives them competition and also wins over most of the program. But now under Make in India, they are anyways not going to be qualifying for even being also for even participating. So this is a great advantage. So we have no worries in the past for local, but a little bit worry on the foreign companies. because they have deep pockets. But now with Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat in this area, we will probably have no worries for long time. Also, if you see the import ban list, there are several items which have been put on the ban list in the area of electromagnetic pulse. There are quite a bit, and it all has been put into the list because of Paras Defense being able to indigenize them and to able to deliver them to the customer satisfaction. So again, now with this also, there is no foreign company that can participate for the tenders, and probably leaving Paras Defense as the only option or the only choice for most of the programs of our country in this area. So it has really helped us, but we always were working without even this possibility. We were working by ourselves with our own capability and also on the merits of the quality and also the merits of price. But with this coming into force, we are now at a bit more ease, and probably we are a bit more lighter, and hope that we should be able to now get more volumes or maybe in turn get more value for the company.
Thank you.
Even if you look at the Defense Acquisition Procedures 2020, it gives a thrust on IDDM, which is categorized and prioritized as number 1. So we fall under IDDM category, and this is ideally done to give thrust on Make in India and Atmanirbhar.
Thank you, sir. Could you just spill a little more on the understanding of IDDM?
So IDDM full form is indigenously designed, developed, and manufactured. This is something Paras has been doing since inception. So we have a design capability, we have development capability of developing newer technologies, then manufacturing capabilities. So this is, and everything is done in-house. So we have partnerships where these are partnerships which are for products and technologies which we are inherently not focusing onto, but the optics, the electronics, and the mechanical capabilities are completely homegrown. All the manufacturing is done in India, and it is delivered to the satisfaction of the customer. So that is where we become the IDDM company. So everything is designed, developed, and manufactured indigenously by the company.
Thank you. So moving to the next question, have you won bids with the government and its entities on L1 basis, or it's been as well on nominal basis, given your niche capabilities, especially in the optics space?
We have one. Yes, Amit, you can take it. I take it. Okay. So we have one on also competitive basis and also on nomination basis. So in the area of electromagnetics, now it is purely nomination basis. Mainly, not purely, but mainly on nomination basis. And in the area of optical, mainly in the space sector, it is also again to very great extent on nomination basis. In the military sector, also to some extent on nomination basis, and some are still a bit on the tendering basis.
Okay, sir. Any worries on the concentration of your projects from the government and your top 5 customers contributing 60% of your revenues? Anything on the short term and long term in terms of threats? Any thoughts there?
No, we have no worries with any of our customers. We are in fact happy working with government, but also working with private and also working with export. So we have never have any bad debts. I don't think we have lost ever any money on anything that we have done. We have always been and we have no problem of any working with any of our customers. And also, as we say, like, now more and more private companies are coming and getting Make in India contracts. Probably we could be working more with private also in the coming times. Also, our exports are likely to increase with export order book also being in place. And also there are more export opportunities that the company is currently working on. So we have basically no worries working with anybody because all the people whomsoever we work with, they need us and we need them. So it is a win-win for both of us. And also, I forgot to answer your question. With this rising inflation, rising cost, and all, our contracts are all fixed contracts to our customer and also back to back. So we have never have any issues of any price increase whenever after we have taken any order. before we are taking any order, we will go and get the validity confirmed with all our suppliers. And after the validity is in place, we go and accept the contract. And because the margins are good in with us and also with the suppliers, nobody ever does this for one time for getting more money. Everybody honors their price, and from the beginning itself, we know what is that we are going to net in mostly all the each and every order that we are executing. So there is no worry of any inflation or of the rising cost or also of the chip related problem right now that is being faced by the world. So even, because in, if a company is manufacturing chip-based electronic products, here, if they are doing business with a commercial market, they get 100 rupees. The moment it is made as mil grade or for military requirement, the price becomes maybe 300, 400, 500. So they would be always happy to first sell quickly to the mil grade customer or to the military customer rather than the commercial market, because here they have straight away value add of maybe a couple of times or a few times on whatever they are doing. So no challenges in the area of any supply chain in the current times or also in the future, because this never happens in our area. Maybe a little delay sometimes, like right now, if the delivery we would be expecting in September, they would worst case scenario, they would say, okay, we will do it in November or so. So otherwise, no worry for any kind of pricing issue with any of our customers or nor with any of our suppliers.
Sir, in terms of delays, any percentage to it in terms of penalties? What we've done. I mean,
less than point, maybe it's less than 1%, less than maybe 0.5 or 0.25, and also very, very negligible. And most of the time, even if it is deducted after giving them the justification for the reason of delay, and also doing a good job at the end of the day, they reimburse back to us. So we hardly lose. It is less than 1%. It will be in points, if at all, whatever it would be. So
just to add on, it was 0.52%.
Yes. So we don't have any losses on due to the late delivery. And also, like, we still try, even though we say it's not going to come, but we keep on trying. Even after 5 years, we will see that gentleman, sir, hamara paisa de do na, wo jo kata tha. And sometimes we get lucky also. So we are, so this also is not a worry to us. When we end up doing a good job, mostly, if at all there is any delay, they will regularize the delivery period without any penalty.
The next question is, on your execution visibility of your 300 crore order book.
Generally, all the orders that we get have to be executed in maybe 12, 15, 18 months maximum. And also most of the orders are all time bound and also having relations with the other part of the supply or with the other part of the end program. So whatever the order book would be, we would have to execute it probably in maybe 12 to maybe 15, 18 months max is what the customer would be looking at.
Okay, sir. Moving ahead, you recently did a private placement at 160 rupees per share in July 2021. What has changed in the last 3 months of you, coming at about 175 rupees as a price band?
The company, as we speak, the funnel is more stronger, and also the promoter group was able to do a small pre-IPO, not pre-IPO, but a small OFS with two of the investors at 175 rupees. So this transaction was executed successfully just about in the last month. So that was also done at 175 rupees. So that is why now we look at the band of 165 to 175.
Thank you, sir. Moving to the next question. Could you throw some light on your expansion plans? A small portion of your fundraise is going towards buying new machinery. What kind of expansion are you doing at your plants right now? Also, at this given moment, at what percentage capacity are you actually operating?
So we have now built a base of manufacturing of all that goes into making a complete product on the mechanical side, on the electronic side, on the optical side. Now we are going to be deploying our proceeds to set up a complete infrastructure which we have, but we are going to make it more stronger to make to assemble and to test and to qualify any type of camera systems. Maybe so most of it will be going there, wherein a smallest of the camera to the biggest or to a very large size camera for space application. The entire assembly of the camera and also doing the qualification and also doing the testing of the camera infrastructure. So here this will be going for mainly the forward integration on making a complete product or doing the testing of the complete product. So most of the capex will be in this area. So we're not going to be expanding more on like the component manufacturing area, but it's going to be for the forward integration and also for the ultimate level of making of the product and offering it as a ready to use for the customer.
Although the capacity utilization will be at an X percentage, what happens is we are always striving to add more value per product. So whatever, if we were doing a 100 rupee turnover yesterday, with the same resources, we should be able to do 120 or 130. This is something which we keep striving at. And moving forward, also, we will be looking at adding more value per our product. So with the same resources, we should be able to scale up a much larger revenue than what we are doing today. So it's actually depends on the value that we add per product than just production capacity.
Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, could you elaborate a little more on the degrowth that we've had on the top line throughout the past years? What was the historical order backlog in FY 21, 20, and 19?
Urvashi, you want to take it?
Yeah, so like in March 20, I think because COVID hit us earlier than other companies, because we had certain supplies from neighboring countries like South Korea, and thus we could not deliver. Plus, all our products have to be customer inspection, and we cannot ship out any goods except inspection. And the COVID hit us pretty early. So March 20, we had slightly backlog of revenue, and then in March 21, our factories were shut till August 2020. Although we started with special permission by MIDC with 15%, but that much is only to warm our machineries, and the revenue you see is actually from August 2020 till March 2021, and that's why we are hopeful for forward years, because what we have done is for partly say 7 months, and we have a strong order book plus the backlog of previous orders to complete. And plus, the inspections, now that everyone settled with COVID, and we are having this webinar also over COVID. So even our customers are, proactive and doing the inspections over the webinars, and, so people have changed, we have evolved, and the COVID phase is settling down. So we are hopeful.
I would also want to draw your attention towards the order book. So if you look at our order book from FY 19 to 20, there was almost 100% jump in orders, wherein from 20 to 21, there was a 50% jump, and we expect the same kind of traction moving forward. So that is, I think, a right indicator of how the business is going to grow. And with our capability, which is not dependent on our resources, I think we should be able to do far more justice to the incoming orders to be delivered in that particular financial year, and also take it forward for the coming financial year.
Thank you. Moving to the next question. What is your share of build to print and build to design contracts in the revenue?
So currently, we would be at around 30%. That will be around build to print, and the rest would be build to specs.
Okay, sir.
Or build to concept. Build to specs and also build to concept.
Okay, so moving to the next question. Do you believe that the revenue from space products market will increase, resulting in further diversification?
No diversification. It is basically we are doing mainly we are doing optics in the area of space and some mechanical, but more is optics. So basically, it is using the same infrastructure and the manpower. We are doing optics for the defense market, and also same will be deployed for the space market. And we have been doing business with space since many years. So space will be also our very important customer, but most say the major revenues also will come from the military, as the number or the quantities will be higher in the military domain. But also when we are looking at maybe doing the full product for the space, the product in whatever goes into the space, the value addition is very different. So yes, the value addition, because of the virtue of the value addition, the revenue may be higher, but it is not actually diversification. It is also working in the same domain.
Okay, sir. Moving to the next question on raw materials. What is the raw material input like? Do we have built-in inflation costs in our contracts?
The raw material that mainly that we use are all optical material, where the material are all crystal material, like mainly germanium, silicon, zinc selenide, zinc sulfide, or very specialty glass ceramic material. Here, the prices are the prices are fixed for us. Like, whenever we are, as we mentioned to you, like whenever we are going for taking the order, we will ensure that the prices are still valid by the customer. And if there is a little change, they will always accommodate, because of the virtue of the long relationship that we have. And also, if there is a little decrease that we see on the index for that particular material, we will still be okay if they are doing it at the same price, because in the past they would have helped us maybe to accommodate any kind of increase. So here we have no worries of any change in the price. It is all fixed price, and as we mentioned, the material that we buy are all specialty material on the optical side. And on the electronics also, we are buying material from companies who are very reputed, and the prices are fixed for the entire period of the contract.
Okay, sir. What is the kind of after-sales service you give to your clients? Also, is there any kind of revenue attached to it?
In some areas, in the area of electronic systems, yes, after we finish the warranty period, then comes the business of spares. So here we get the business of spares, and also we get the possibility of, or also we get the business of doing the maintenance of the equipment or maintenance of the system that we have delivered to them. So there is also revenue on this account coming to us from the virtue of our supplies and post-warranty period.
Okay, sir. Could you also give us an indication of, what is the kind of margin of error you face on your products? How do you maintain the quality assurance?
In our business, if there is no quality, there is no business. You cannot get a second or third chance. The quality goes without saying. Gone are the days when 10 years back we used to tell our customer, sir, हमारा quality देखो और हमको जो है आप थोड़ा 2 पैसा ज़्यादा दो. Now they say quality goes without saying. If you have no quality, you have no standing with them. So whatever we make is checked at various stages. And at the end, whatever we supply is, you can say, almost 100% in acceptance to whatever the customer wants. So we don't have any return back ever, unless the customer has maybe while integrating it in their other system, maybe have had some challenges, or maybe they would have had they would have had a challenge into it, and they would have created some challenge for us. So then as a special case and looking into the long relationship, we would repair it for them free of cost. But otherwise, also if it is a bit more, then they also don't mind paying us. So the quality goes without saying. This is a business of very high quality, and that is why, because the quality standards here are so high, not anyone and everyone can also come and be a part of it overnight. Your culture has to be very high. Quality has to be in your DNA, and you have to deliver the best, because it is a matter of very critical end use.
So out of the percentage of revenue in the defense stream, how much of it is military, navy, air force, and space?
So as we said, it is like it is never fixed. It is varying. It will never have. So we would always want to say like Navy, Army, and Air Force as one as defense business, and we would like to say the other as space business. Because in like say today our order book, we have more business on the naval side. But tomorrow maybe we have right now we have because of the virtue of our past supplies, we would have maybe more business on the army side and also on the air force side. So this is always dynamic, but to make it very simple, like we would be always trying to maintain business of around 75 to 80% on the defense and the balance into the space. And this is on the standalone basis. And on the subsidiary, it will have different set of customers, different applications.
I think just to sum it up, because of our wide range of products, our revenue streams are always evolving. Even if you see our segment results, it's always evolving. We don't rely on any one. So, to add a percentage to it, I don't think it will be fair.
Thank you. Moving to the next question, the document states that you plan to also get into UAV integrated solutions and servicing. Could you throw some more light on that?
So, Paras Aerospace is our subsidiary. It is into drones, have unique partnerships, and we are offering complete solution. So, we have had a partnership with an Israeli company where we are going to be offering complete autonomous surveillance. This is like complete, unmanned surveillance of your sites, of your large factories. So this is a complete solution where a drone will go and do the complete surveillance. After the battery dies in 30 minutes, it will come and park on a charging station where it will charge, and by then there will be another drone taking off in parallel, and it will do the surveillance during the time it is getting charged. And even that the battery is exhausted, the third one will take off. So this is a very unique solution that we have just recently started offering by the virtue of partnership and also by the virtue of we having understanding of the entire application and the solution that we can offer. So this is a part of that, whatever you are seeing.
Okay, sir. So a question subsequent to that asked that, how is the new drone policy, going to be for the company? Will it be beneficial, and in what way?
The drone policy, yes, it's going to increase now, the focus of making it in India, and also focus of and also push for exporting of drones from India. So we are hopeful, or we are likely to be benefited for sure, because we have foreign partnerships wherein we are their global manufacturing partner. So we are going to be doing it. We are going to be manufacturing the products not only for the Indian market but also going to be export. And this way we qualify to a great extent in this particular scheme or the offering, and we may be benefited. But irrespective of that, the model was always that we are going to be global manufacturing. We are going to be manufacturing partners for the global market for our partners. This scheme coming in is also going to add more value to whatever we were doing or whatever we are doing.
Thank you. So we'll end it at that note. And if there are any questions which have been unanswered, we'll definitely reach out to the individual with a response. Thank you, everyone, for showing interest in knowing more about the company, its leadership, and its future potential. I would now like to call upon Ms. Asta Daga from Anand Rathi Advisors to make the closing speech before we end today's webinar. Asta, over to you.
Thank you, Lalit. And the questions which are left unanswered, or some questions which we couldn't take due to paucity of time, please feel free to reach out to Concept PR or to us, and we will get them answered. I, on behalf of Anand Rathi, thank the management team for giving a detailed presentation. Paras Defense is one of the few companies in the private sector in this space to hit the public markets, and we are confident of receiving healthy participations across all investor categories. To sum it up, the issue again comprises of fresh issuance of equity shares aggregating of about 140 odd crores and an offer for sale for 17,24,490 equity shares by the promoter selling shareholders and some individual selling shareholders. The price band is out and it is fixed at rupees 165 to 175 per equity share. The total issue size at the lower end of the price band shall be around 169.9 crores. And at the upper end of the price band, it shall be around 170.8 crores. As stated earlier, the IPO is scheduled to open on Tuesday, September 21, and will close on Thursday, September 23rd. We seek your support to make this IPO a success. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Mr. Aga, esteemed audience, we've now come to the end of the webinar. We look forward to your support and participation in making this initial public offering a great success. Wishing you all a great day and keep safe.
Thank you, everyone. And we also would like to invite you to visit our facility at Navi Mumbai to see India's most unique nanotechnology machining center and how it is being deployed for very, very unique offering to our country and also to the other people in the coming times. So please try and see if you can visit us. Thank you.